My name is Dan Brightwell. I'm the chairperson of the Southfield Veterans Commission, and we're in Southfield, Michigan at the Southfield Public Library. Today is April the 2nd, 2008, and our interviewee is Ms. Barbara Seldon Purifoy. Ms. Barbara Purifoy-Seldon. So, since I just sort of messed it up a little bit, we will have Mrs. Seldon introduce herself, place of birth, date of birth, and branch of service.
Well, my name is Barbara Ann Purifoy-Seldon. I was born in Birmingham, Alabama on April the 6th, 1943. And on September the 5th, 1943, we relocated from Alabama to Ecorse, Michigan. And then from there in 1951, I believe it was, to Detroit, Michigan, where I resided for the rest of my life, Detroit.
Okay. Well, you said 1951?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You enlisted in the military service?
I did.
Okay. What were you doing before you enlisted?
Well, I was a student.
Okay.
And I was a student at Cass Tech High School.
Okay.
I was in the college preparatory curriculum.
Okay.
And of course I graduated from Cass Tech, and I graduated a semester early, so if you remember those days, you could graduate in January or graduate in June. I graduated in January.
Okay.
And after I got out of high school, I really wanted to go to college, but my parents were unable to afford such a thing. And I was sitting around doing absolutely nothing most of the time but looking for employment.
Okay.
Back in the 60s, 61 time frame,
Okay.
employment was very difficult, particularly for females.
Uh-huh.
And for someone who had no skills, because in high school, all I did was college preparatory kinds of things, okay? So I didn't have a technical base for work later on in life. I never took typing, so I couldn't do that. But if you could talk to me about chemistry or biology or some of the sciences, then I could do that. But not being able to afford to go to college and not having any real skills made it difficult for me to plan my life for the future.
Okay. Okay. So you're enlisted.
I enlisted.
Okay. What date did you enlist?
August the 23rd, 1961. So if I graduated January 1961, there was a big span in my life between January and August where I was virtually unemployed.
Okay. And where did you enlist, and what was that process like?
Okay, well, we went into the old Fort Wayne, I think it was called, right here in Detroit during the enlistment. But I'd like to kind of back you up a little bit and talk about why I decided to enlist, because the whole story isn't told.
Okay.
I had a girlfriend who went to church with me. Her name was Peggy Hall. And she graduated from Ecorse High School, but we were good friends. And she, like myself, did not have employment either. So we were just kind of exploring what could we really do. And one day we saw this sign that said, "See the world and get an education. Join the Army."
Okay.
So we decided to look into it, and what we discovered was that you can do the buddy system. Two people can go in together and they will keep you together if you enlist for 3 years.
Okay.
Typically a lady, if they enlisted into the military, would only enlist for 2 years. But we decided, well, that beautiful dress that lady was ironing, it was blue and it was crimson, and it looked like she was going to go to a formal dance, okay? And she was wonderfully dressed in this military outfit, and it looked like she had a good education and she was seeing the world and she had a good life. And we thought, boy, wouldn't that be great for us? Of course, during that time, especially in the 60s, women were not well received in the military. And not so much the attitude of the people within the military, but the civilian people kind of considered women in the Army were